My name is Dr Oswin Choga. I'm a technical advisor for Coopers Animal Health. But today I'm going to be talking about the importance of external parasite control and its impact on beef farming. So it doesn't really make any sense for us to learn about the impact or the damage that's caused by these external parasites without looking at how we can actually control these external parasites as farmers. And one of the ways to actually control external parasites is what we call dipping. And by dipping, it's basically either spraying an animal with a knapsack sprayer, which is called hand spray, with a chemical that controls ticks and flies, or just ticks. Then they can also control it through using spray races or a plunge dip. So that's how they can be controlled. So when you look at the different types of dips that we have on the market across the globe, we basically have three major dipping chemical groups that are available. And I would say for farmers, this is really critical that they understand that we only have three. So prudent use of these dips is critical. So we've got amitraz-based dips, and these dips are mainly good when it comes to controlling ticks and mites, okay, and also lice. And examples of these amitraz-based dips, we have what we call triatics. So triatics is one of the products that farmers can actually use if they want something that controls ticks and lice. Then we've got another chemical group which is called synthetic pyrethroids. So these synthetic pyrethroids are capable of controlling ticks, flies, and lice. So what's really important is to realize that that group is one that farmers could actually use when they've got a challenge with flies. So I would say farmers should take note of the fact that once they can use a dip that has got a synthetic pyrethroid, they can control flies, which are also a nuisance to our animals. And an example is decker ticks and spot worm. Okay. Then the third group of dips and probably the final one are organophosphates. And an example of such is super dip. And these are dips that I've seen a lot of farmers utilizing either when they've got a resistance problem with all the other dips. Not to say that they work in all cases of resistance, but as an alternative when they actually don't have a choice to use other products, because these are paper labels and they've got an impact on the environment. One of the critical things that farmers should also be aware of is how to control these external parasites in the different seasons. So just as an overview, when you look at the summer months, which is when it's our rainy season, our biggest external parasite challenges are actually during that period, because there is rain and it's also warm, which means that the tick eggs can easily hatch, and we've got a huge mass of ticks affecting our animals. So during this season, it's critical that we control ticks and flies. And it is recommended that all farmers across Zimbabwe should be dipping their animals on a weekly basis. Okay. Then as we get into the winter season, we have started seeing that as a country, we've started having challenges with diseases such as January disease. And one of the reasons why it has become such a problem is because of the changes in the strains of the disease, but also we've started seeing that contrary to the old days, we are now getting cases of January disease within the winter season. And what that means is that we also need to intensify dipping, particularly in areas where January disease outbreaks have been seen. So they should be dipping weekly throughout the year. But for those areas where January disease has not been a problem, farmers can relax dipping in winter. Okay, but being aware of the risk of only using fortnightly dipping with the challenge of January disease. Okay, so if we look at those seasons, in the summer months, we recommend that farmers at some point should be using dips that have got synthetic pyrethroids. An example is Decatix. So they should be using Decatix at some point, not every time, but at some point where they're seeing that the fly challenge is big, but they can use the other tips in that period. But as we get into the dry season, they can easily pull off dips such as synthetic pyrethroids, depending on their management systems. So when it comes to external parasite control, we recommend that farmers utilize professionals such as veterinarians in their different areas, but they can also utilize companies like Coopers Animal Health, because we've got technical advisors that are available, and we've got much experience with working with these external parasites just to try and deal with the challenges.